Riz, are you there?
Hi, good morning.
Hey, lovely
Assalamu
to see
alaikum, how
you.
are we doing?
Walaikum assalam. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, all the better for seeing you, Riz, and thank you for coming on. I'll stop sharing that slide and so let's kick off. Let's
Yes.
start by introducing yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
So my name's Riz. I am a tech and commercial lawyer at Square One. I'm a former ex-tech recruiter. And I think that's about it, really. Yeah. I'm
You're a bit more than that.
just a
You're
normal
a bit
bloke.
I think you're a bit more than that. You're a community champion. You're out there supporting. You're giving away a lot of your time. Selflessly encouraging, helping others, and offering your support to those. From with an idea through to sort of scaling and exiting and everything in between, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, look, I I try to help. I think that's the key message for me is, and this was something ingrained into me by my dad about we've you've been given so much in life. You've been given everything and you should feel blessed for having everything, but our job's to help people and help as much as we can do. And I think that just I think that just goes and it's ingrained in me to help in any way I can do. Um, so I always feel a responsibility to help as much as I can, and I think that's part of the reason why I try and do as much as I can.
Brilliant. Yeah, well done. So let's talk a little bit about you, Riz, personally, first and foremost. So tell us, you mentioned your father there. Thanks, Jim. And where do you come from? What have you done? You were a tech recruiter. What drives you, other than your
This
car or your wife or.
this could take a long time, but I'll make it short and short and sweet. So I'm a Geordie, born and bred, Newcastle born and bred. I went to London to study law for my undergrad. I wanted to go see what London was like and wanted to go experience living away and sort of standing on my own 2 feet. Um, after after graduating from university, I started working in the world of tech recruitment in London. Um, I always had an interest in tech. It was something, and this stems back down to why I do or try and do as much as I can do that. Going through school and stuff, we weren't really given great careers advice. It was the typical go be an accountant or a lawyer or something. And ironically, I am a lawyer, but that's not the point. It was very generic advice, and it didn't really give you an insight into what the world was like. And for me, that's a big motivator to now I mean, alhamdulillah, I've got twin girls who are 4 years old,
Oh,
and I
mashallah.
want
Brilliant.
I want
Brilliant.
to ch change the narrative for them so they growing up they have the opportunities that or they can see at least the opportunities that maybe we didn't see. So worked in recruitment for about 7 years, worked in London, moved across over to our Leeds office and headed up a team in Leeds. Um, Dad unfortunately became ill in 2016, back into 2015, started 2016, and he passed away then, and I made the decision to come back home to Newcastle. I always wanted to. That was the trigger point for me, and I think after that you automatically grow up. Dad's always been the one that you go to when there's ever a problem, and he's there to
Yeah,
sort it out. And
yeah.
once that happened, then you automatically grow up and you think, right, I've got to put my big boy pants on and crack on now and take responsibility and all of that sort of stuff. And that's when I made the decision to go back into law. Um, I didn't really have an opportunity to explore it after graduating. I just went straight into recruitment. So went back into law, but I always knew that I wanted to do something outside of my day job, which in which I could give back and support and help and do all of those things. Dad was a big believer of that. He did it throughout his life, and for me, it was having that opportunity to do so, and I feel blessed that I work somewhere like Square One where they actively promote it. And our managing partner, Jill Hunter, she's a big advocate of everything that I do, and she supports it day in, day out. So it gives us a platform to be able to do these sorts of things.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that.
I tried to keep
It's
it as short and sweet as possible.
no, I get it, I get it, I get it, and it's it's um, it, it just demonstrates a little bit of your why. But so tell us, what does success look like, Riz?
I don't think there is. I don't think I don't think you can pinpoint a specific thing to say, right, this is where success is for us with this sort of stuff. There's so much that can be done. There's so much to do, and there's guys like yourself who are doing this day in, day out, trying to better our community, better the industry. And so I don't think there is a limit in terms of, well, if we get to here, this is success because there's always more that we can do. And it's about rallying up the community to do more. So there's more people like yourself doing this sort of stuff and actively taking a stand to make a change and to make things better.
And actually, whilst I'm grateful for your compliments, it's equally people like you who day in, day out are, you know, making the difference, making that impact. Um, so it's a real joint endeavor, is what it is. So tell me, what else are you involved in before we come on to the awards and things like that? Do
Mhm.
you have other roles? Are you involved in organizations and things like that?
Yeah, so I don't specifically limit myself to I can only do this or that or anything like that. If anyone needs help or if I ever come across a situation where I feel I can add value, I will do. So through a great example, a recent example through work, we mentor um at a charity called Smile for Life in Oosburn, and this is around giving up some of our time to mentor young adults going through some of the challenges that we have been that we've probably all been through at some stage or another, and just offering some guidance and support. And um, the chap that I was mentoring, he wanted to get a job, was his big
Yeah.
aim, and I worked with him over a couple of months just to build his confidence, to build his CV, build his confidence, give him the insight into knowing that you can do this. There's nothing stopping you from doing this. And we heard about a month ago that he'd managed to secure himself a job, which was
Oh,
brilliant,
brilliant.
and it was
Yeah,
absolutely
well done.
amazing. And I try and do as much as I can do with the mosque. For me, it's the biggest challenge I'm trying to overcome is this whole inclusion piece within tech
Mm,
and promoting diversity within tech. Everyone is different. Everyone brings something different to the table, and
yeah.
we want tech seems like it's lacking slightly, and I think that's what I'm trying to do. But it goes back to what I was saying earlier: is we didn't know about this until you actually get put into the industry, or you see what it's like, or you get some experience, but you didn't know about it growing up, and it's like how many coders, developers do you see from underrepresented communities? Very few,
Mm.
because you don't learn about that sort of stuff.
Certainly within the region and within the UK, I mean, conversely, Asia is a hotbed of tech,
Hmm.
and people within Asia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, it was like they've really understood the value and the benefit of that, and it's become some of the. I mean, I remember going to Tech City in Bangalore, sort of 10, 15 years ago, and going, oh my God, this is crazy. And it was like, it was run by a female Indian woman as well. That the whole thing was like, oh my gosh, a female Indian is running Tech City, which is, like Silicon Valley, but different. And every single major tech company in the world is based there. And, it was just, anyway, but you're right. I think locally and nationally, um, underrepresented groups don't appreciate or understand in those career conversations. Because if you look at what the future is, I was at Nissan yesterday having a tour of the plant, and you just look at Nissan and the tour of the plant and everything else. Actually, one of the things I realized, I don't think I seen an ethnic person on the plant shop floor. The Kudrat who had organised it, she was amazing. She was from London,
Hmm. Oh, lovely.
and but and I've only just thought about it now, right? Because it's like it's not. I don't walk around going, why isn't this? Why isn't that?
Yeah.
I go, are the right people doing the right jobs and things like that. But actually, we do need to be able to showcase some of those jobs and opportunities and things like that. But tech must be exciting, Riz. So you're at the cold face. Tell us what your role consists of when it comes to, and what support can you offer?
So I work with any business who is a tech business or any business who is using tech in the actual business or thinking about adopting into tech. And what we look at is providing legal support all the way from contracts to intellectual property, protecting what you have, all the way through to data protection. And then we look at things like, for example, if you're um, setting up a business, what sort of vehicle do you need to set that business up and what's going to be most beneficial for you. We look at things like if you're receiving investment, how to scale and how to grow that business. We offer the legal support, but then we offer the commercial knowledge as well. And for a lot of people in business these days, it's all about your support network. How successful you are is all about you can only spin, you know this yourself, you can only spin so many plates at once. And
Yeah.
you're reliant on your network of advisors being lawyers, accountants, etc., to help guide and support you. So what I what I do is I work with these business owners to help guide them, help provide them with the legal support that they need, but then the commercial support that they need as well to help be a success. And for me, it's that feeling of I've been part of someone's journey, and
Mm.
that sort of the gratitude you get by knowing that you've helped someone along their journey to to get to where they are, and you've played a small, and it might only be a very very small part, but you've played a part to help them on their journey. That gives me great satisfaction knowing that I could help them, and it all goes back down to that whole thing of being able to help. Um, so I work with businesses from varying in sizes, from all the way from startup, one man businesses, all the way up to SMEs, um, and larger. I'm not, I'm not picky in terms of who I work with or anything like that. If you need help, I say just ask, and my friends will get a lot of my friends and contacts know this about me. Is I always say to people, if I can't help you, I'll know someone who can. Just ask the question. And I
Mm.
think the Northeast is great in that we're like a big community here, and we all have contacts, and we all like to leverage our network to help people.
Undoubtedly, undoubtedly, and it's wonderful that you've got that outlook as well. Um, yeah, part of previous challenge um, is historically when you talk to a legal person, they'll have a, well, this is all I'm talking to you about. So having that commercial appreciation and understanding is, you know, invaluable, is what it is. And being able to advise in a slightly more supportive role. My best bit of advice to anyone um, is to seek out the best bit of advice you can get. And whether you can afford it or not, get it. Because you know the people that you should be asking don't cut corners.
Yeah.
Um, and you don't know what you don't know, right? So coming along and going, they'll be charging whatever this per hour and whatever else. And of course, you know, that it's your profession. People
Yeah.
need to recognize and appreciate that there's a value associated with it. But the likelihood is, if you can help someone, the value you're going to bring to them is tenfold them trying to find a cheaper option somewhere else because it's cheaper, and then
Yeah.
having to make amends or in the long run. I mean, my late mother was a perfect example of this. You know, she owned property and she'd always try and get the cheapest. I remember someone building an extension and then having to go out and get it done again, or you'd pay three times what you should have paid for it because you were just kept on scrimping. So going out there and getting the best advice is critical.
See, I
Um,
used to be like that though. I was just like that. It's a completely off tangent thing, but I had a bathroom fitted and I went with the cheapest option because that was what I thought would be the better option. And one of the pipes ended up exploding and flooding the living room, and, I got it in the neck from my wife. So,
yeah, 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 yeah. You do.
so I learned my
No,
lesson.
it's a natural thing. It's a natural thing, but and that's where experience and expertise and
Exactly.
learning comes from. Anyway, in the last minute or two, the reason why one of the reasons you're here is because obviously I admire you and appreciate everything
Oh,
you do,
thank you.
not just within your
Likewise, though,
profession,
Emma,
but
I
more
mean,
broadly.
you're setting the
Yeah.
standard here, so we can only aspire to be like guys like
I don't
yourself.
think
So,
anyway. No, not at all. It's anyway. We'll do this quid pro quo forever. We've got 30 seconds, Riz. You're here because you're a worthy award winner, a brilliant person. What does that mean to you? The winning one of those awards?
it, in all honesty, when I went there on the night, everyone was saying, "Riz, have you prepared a speech or anything like that?" And I said, "No, because I'm not going to win." I mean, look at the lineup and the talent in terms of the nominees; it was phenomenal. Um, but it means the absolute world to me because it gives you that little piece of sort of insight that you're doing something right, and it it helps to know that you're on the right sort of track and you're making a difference, and that means the world. That you're being recognized for what you do and trying to make a difference. For me, it's more just making sure we can make an impact and actually make change and affect change within this community, within this industry. But the award meant everything. And next time, I promise I'll prepare a speech.
Good,
But
good. Yeah, next time, yeah. No, thank you for that. Anyway, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you ever so much, Riz. You're a
thank
wonderful
you for having
person,
me, Emma. I
and
appreciate
I
it.
look forward to catching up with you soon as well. All the best.
Definitely. Take care. Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.